Yo, what's up, Ganji? Today we are going to talk about designer engineer collaboration. And if I give some introduction about myself, my name is Harsha. I am a designer and an IT person.
And
Working
a
in
songwriter, singer, what else? Product manager, what else, Harsha?
yeah, but simply I'm a designer and I'm working in health IT field, designing products for to solve problems in healthcare using information technology, I would say. So I have Ganji with me here today, who has a lot of
Hey, hey.
experience. Yes, you can introduce yourself.
Yes, I'm Ganji and I live in Stockholm. And I'm also, I would love to call myself a product designer, but I'm not sure whether it's the correct term to use. I'm actually a product owner now. So, but I love design and I love to practice design thinking in whatever the role that I'm playing. So,
Interesting.
yes, so here we are.
Yes, so this is going to be a series, or
Hopefully.
yeah,
Or just a one-time
maybe
failure, maybe.
yeah, short-lived dream.
Let's
or
see.
yeah, kind of hobby,
Yes.
right? It's a hobby. We want to talk about. We like talking about design and things, stuff that's happening inside
Yeah.
design. So this is
We are
a
fans
banter.
of we are fans of design, right? I mean,
Yeah,
we can't expect a fan base because we are fans.
of course. Yeah. We are fans of ourselves, so you can't beat us.
Yes. Yes.
So I was I was interested in how designers designers encounter this always, because I was an engineer, I was a developer and software developer. So as a person who has transferred from software developer to design, I don't have much of a problem of collaborating with developers or engineers, but I think I will have this problem in the future when what I knew as development gets changed. It is changing always, but I think this is a very important question: how how important or why designer engineer collaboration or design engineer unity is important. So Ganji, what do you think? Do you think that it's important?
I mean, collaboration is important, as I feel, irrespective of whether you are a designer or a developer. So if we look at what we do on a daily basis in maybe in an organization, maybe in your startup, or maybe in your own self work, if it is related to design. So whatever the job is, you are solving some problem, right? I mean, that is what we are getting paid for, to solve problems, and people get together and people try to solve the problems. So that's our job, basically, irrespective of whether you are a designer or a developer or a manager or whoever you are.
Yeah, but in that case, then can't you work alone? Do you actually really need to collaborate? That's a question. Like, some people like to work alone, right? So in that case, why there are a lot of questions asked about, like, why people Google how do I work with engineers? How do I work with designers? Why that question? Do you think that there's a problem underlying? Like, one of the questions that I get sometimes is, I don't understand what these developers are talking about, or the jargons, so is it all about understanding what they're saying, or is there something more there?
Yes. So why do we need to collaborate? It's a very, I think it's a big very theme kind of a problem or a question. So I think it's all about what is expected from people. Let's say that you are a designer and you can develop a product and you can market the product and you
Yeah.
can sell the product. If you can do all the things, and if everyone can do everything,
Yeah.
maybe then
don't
the
need-
collaboration will not be needed.
Yeah.
Because you get a set of people and give them the problem, and individually they come up with solutions and they develop them and sell them.
Yeah.
But that is not the practical case, isn't it? I mean, everyone cannot do everything.
Exactly.
So I have things that I'm good at, and you have things that you are good at. So if we don't work together, then maybe we will not be doing or developing something great. We'll be just, you will have, let's say that you are a developer, you will have a very nice code that no one likes to use. So if I'm a designer who doesn't want to collaborate with a developer, I will have a really good design with me that, again, maybe not feasible to implement.
Yeah.
So this feasibility and viability, they have to overlap. So maybe that's the point that we are after here.
That's a really good point. Yeah. I wanted to come to that. So we are always talking about this feasibility, viability, and what is the other one? Desirability, right?
Desirability.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So it's user technical. So it's for users, it's desirable. For under technical, it should be feasible. For business, it should be viable. So we are talking about designer versus engineer. So that means feasibility versus everything.
Desirability, or maybe
Yeah. It can be
maybe
all.
viability as well.
Yeah.
Yes.
So exactly like you said. So I don't think there are people, or maybe there are only very few people who can do design, development, marketing, UX, everything, right? But you
Yes.
always work with someone. You have to get the best out of people, and so for that you need this unity. So I think
And even if we, sorry to disturb you.
Yeah.
even if we think that everybody can do everything, let's say that I can do everything and you can do everything. So I myself can design and develop end to end, and you also can do the same thing.
Yeah.
But because of the fact that we are not doing it together, what are we missing?
If we don't do it together, what are we missing? I think
Yes.
if we don't do it, like if we are not a good collaborator, I think the trust between you and the other people will go down. I think nowadays what makes a product good is how many brains are behind it and how good they collaborate, or the team collaborates. So if you don't trust each other due to some issue, or maybe you don't like trusting people, so if you don't trust each other, then the collaborativeness also goes down with it, because you always try not to depend on others, right? You always try to work alone because you don't trust. Maybe you don't trust your co-designers, maybe you don't trust engineers. So then you may start a blame game. You may start focusing on things that you shouldn't be focusing as a designer. So I think you have to focus on building trust with engineers or with everyone, so that it will help you to collaborate better and then design better products. What do you think?
Yes. And trust, and also when we talk about trust,
Yeah.
we feel that it's always that we have to agree with each other. That I have seen that also, like the developer is considered to be nice when the developer agrees with the designer. And the designer feels that designer should be nice, so that
Yeah.
the designer agrees with the developer.
Mr. Nice
So
person.
I don't think that, I don't think that is the trust that we are talking about here.
Exactly.
It is like you should be able to challenge each other as well.
Exactly. Yeah.
So
that's a
challenging
good
and
point.
maybe disagreeing and disagreements, challenges. So that is part of the culture of working together or collaboration.
Yeah.
But the most important thing is that you need to, if you come to an disagreement, then we can agree to disagree and then we can commit and proceed.
Yeah.
So-
yeah, I think that's a great point. I'm like blown away. Yeah. So a lot of people, it's a misconception, right? Like when you say trust each other, they misread that to agreeing with everything, right? So you don't have to agree with everything that the other person say. You have to agree to disagree. So trust is based upon correct feedback, right? It's not always agreeing. It's about the right feedback that you give to a person or for something, so that it can be improved. So if you
Yes.
have built a trust, you can destroy that by giving the wrong feedback just to please someone, right?
Yeah.
I think that's
Yes.
a really good point that you brought there. Yeah. So it's a
If the
good
design
takeaway.
is shit, then the developer should express, okay, this is shit. Then maybe the designer can bring loads of user data.
Yeah.
Maybe testing the designs with the real users and bring that data and prove that this does not suck.
Of
So
course.
I think that is the collaboration that is required in organizations. It's not about being nice to each other all the time.
You can be nice to each other outside work, but when it comes to building things together, you have to say that, okay, this is not, I don't like this, and I don't think that will work. And also when something is, like when you see something good, you have to always appreciate, right? So then we come to this
Exactly.
feedback loop, right, Ganji? So we are always talking about feedback. So if you have a good feedback loop, even within engineer and designer, then I think that will also help help to build a better product. It's not only the feedback that you get from the end users. It's the feedback that you
Exactly.
get from co-workers.
Yes. So when we are like talking about building short feedback loops and getting feedback on the designs as fast as possible, we always forget this communication or the feedback loop between the designer and the developer.
Yeah.
Or the product team and the marketing team. We always forget about this, or the product team and the documentation team.
Yeah.
We always forget about these feedback loops when we talk about the feedback loops in general. We always think about testing a prototype with a user and getting that feedback is a feedback loop. So
yeah, forgetting the
that's a
feedback
mistake
that you
we
have
have.
inside.
Yes.
Exactly.
So
in that case, so let's say that you have good trust and you provide good feedback and you accept feedback also, and your team is really good. But if someone asks you, what are the tools and techniques that has helped you as a designer to communicate your design to the rest of people, maybe especially with the engineers, what tools and techniques that you have used and which has helped you to build that trust and to build that good relationship with engineers?
Yes. When it comes to the tools, so when it comes to this, the products that enables collaboration, before going into that, I think the most basic tool that we all have is the language that we are speaking. So if we just talk to each other, on a daily basis.
Hmm.
Or whenever that you come up with an idea as a designer, if you can quickly validate the feasibility with the developer, or when a developer finds out that something is not feasible to implement, or when the developer comes up with an idea to increase the usability of something, then talking to each other might be the most easiest and the most basic thing that we can do
Yeah.
to get things right. I mean, sometimes we do things individually and we write walls of emails to communicate between or in within the teams as well. I have seen that.
Yeah.
So when that happens, I mean, why can't we just talk to each other? Just send a message on since we are working remotely these days, just send a message on Teams or Slack or somewhere, and just talk to each other and see what is working and what is not working. So
Exactly.
I think that is the most basic and the best tool that we have
Common
already,
tool that we
which
forget.
is given to us. Yes.
Free of
I mean,
charge.
we think about like buying Mural licenses. We think about buying Figma licenses
Yeah.
for employees.
Expensive tools.
But if you
Prototype.
don't talk to each
Yeah.
other,
Yeah.
if you don't talk to each other, the tools really doesn't.
Matter.
I mean, they don't matter really. But since you asked about the tools, I would say for me, Figma and Mural are the best tools that I'm using at the moment. So Mural for the, I mean, since mainly because we are working remotely now. Mural, we are using it as a usual whiteboard where people get together and discuss things by drawing things and using post-it notes and things like that. We use it as a normal whiteboard, a digital whiteboard.
Yeah.
And you can run workshops and do a lot of things on Mural. So that is my go-to tool when it comes to some online collaboration. And in Figma, also we have really good collaboration features now.
Yeah.
So you can see what the other person is doing. You can ask them to present things. And I think it's a very good tool when it comes to pair prototyping or pair designing.
Yeah. That's
so
yeah. Any kind of any kind of collaborative whiteboard canvas thing. But you recommend Mural, right?
Yeah, I like Mural because it's very natural, unlike Miro. But you might be a Miro fan, but yeah.
Yeah. Miro, and yeah. There are other more tools that has come into the space, but I think Mural and Miro are one of the some of the best that you can find. But not free.
Yes.
That's the problem. Those are.
Yes, that's what.
But
you
if but sometimes even Microsoft PowerPoint will do like Ganji said, you can always have a good chat. You can use your language.
Yes.
But yeah, collaborative tools. Yes, good collaborative whiteboard solution would do. And also, I think in terms of methods or like techniques, it's really good to be visual, I think. You can use the language, and plus if you use visual language, you can use diagrams, you can use like UML diagrams or maybe screens, maybe mockups, anything, right? If you can draw.
Yes, exactly.
So
I mean, sometimes that's another barrier for the collaboration between a designer and a developer.
Yeah.
Because a developer thinks that like artistic ability is required to draw things.
Of course.
Usually people, not developers. I think people in general think that you have to be artistic to draw things.
Yeah.
But if I ask you to tell me what you think about like pushing a car over a fence,
Yeah.
and if I tell you to describe how you are doing it, then it's really hard to like describe things verbally. But if you just use stick figures and like basic shapes like squares, circles, triangles,
Talking bubbles.
and try to try to doodle something and tell me, then I understand it very easier.
Yeah. Exactly.
So I think the visual explanation of or visual communication is something that can strengthen the collaboration in that case.
Yeah.
Between anyone. It doesn't have to be a designer or a developer.
Yeah.
Between anyone, I think visual communication is something that is proven to be working.
Yeah.
So
It's easy to remember. It's easy to understand. Not easy to forget. Yeah.
yeah.
Cool.
And also I have seen projects which are like stuck in a very static or very static status,
Okay.
because people have different ideas or people have different perceptions on what is being discussed.
Yeah.
Sometimes a very simple decision is the one that is pending, but because everyone has their own picture about what should be done or what is the decision that needs to be made, the projects are being halted and they are going really slow. But if you can just build a prototype and then talk around that
Yeah.
and say,
That helps.
okay, I think you should go here. What do you think? Then someone will come and add, okay, if the user sees this, then he will be confused. So what is the next solution? So
I agree.
likewise, if you can look at something and give comments on it, talk about it, I think
Exactly.
that can solve
Yeah. That
half of the problem.
Yeah, I have come across that situation a lot. Like sometimes we go into now maybe we are going out of the topic, but it's related. Sometimes when you go into meetings, especially, so you go into a meeting and you try to understand what's going on, and then someone will say, okay, we are here to discuss something, and we start discussing about A, B, C, and D, and it goes everywhere. And then last 5 minutes of the meeting, it's really hard to find first of all what is the purpose of the meeting and what did we achieve. Sometimes we don't achieve anything at all. So like you said, if you can go to any discussion with something to show, that will be the frame or the scope of what you're going to talk. So it's very easy to keep people on the topic if you have something to show, and then you go on that track. You don't talk about this bike shed defect thing. You can Google it. So you don't talk about unnecessary things that are very trivial, which will kill or which will take many hundreds of man hours or man days of people, just because we like to talk about something. It's really good to talk, right? We are talking right now, but when it comes to designing products, taking decisions, and making collaboration better, I think you have to be visual and then try to stick to the point. That's a really good point that you brought up. Yeah. So I think we are almost over our time.
Yes, I think
our own boundary.
Yes, let's do another episode on visualizing things.
Great.
That's interesting.
We can show examples as well.
Yeah. Let's do something like that.
That's great.
So we started from developer designer collaboration and ended up in something totally different.
But it all helps.
That's life. You can't plan anything.
Yeah. We didn't plan this on as well. We just wanted to have a chat, and we just thought that it would be helpful for others.
Yeah, that's exactly what we thought.
Yeah. So then, Ganji, we can say goodbye for today.
Have a nice evening.
Have a nice evening.
I'm going back to the darkness.
Oh, yeah. It's dark out there. It's dark here as well.
It's pitch black.
The time zone difference. Yeah. But you are in dark like most of the time in the day there, right? These days.
Yes, now it gets dark at around 5.
Oh,
In next, I mean, after next month, it will be
Oops.
getting dark at around 3 p.m. So I'm in the dark.
Good luck with that. Okay then. See you, Ganji.
All right.
Bye
See
bye.
you. Bye bye.